So hello guys, today our topic is for loop. So we are going to study here deeply about for loops and why we use loop. So loops are basically used to obtain our data or get the data for us in the form of loop. Like if we have millions of records, so we cannot use the print statement to print one by one element for us. So we have to use loop for it. Let's take here an example. Please try to code along with me. So let me take here a list, and this list I take some integers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is our list. Now we want to print all the elements of the list for us. So that's why we are going to use a for loop. So for is a reserved keyword in Python which is used in our loop for I. I is our integer, and in Python we don't have to define the type of the variable. So I is an integer, or it could be of any type. It will depend upon the data in the list. So I in ls. Now what is happening here? It is basically asking I to go into list and check one by one element from the list for I. So it is running basically for I in the list to get the element from the list. Now we want to print element for us. So let me just use a print statement here. And what print the I. So what does I contain? I contains all the elements of the list, and it runs one by one for each element. Now if we run our program, so we will get the whole list printed for us using the for loop. So the data which we get as an output is not now a list, it is an integer type. So we can check the type of I for us. Like if we check the type of I, so what we get integer as an output. Like the data which it prints for us is in the form of an integer. So let's take another example here. This time we are going to take string in our list. So let me take some name like Zeni, comma Ali, comma Usman, comma Zia. So this is our list, and now we have to apply for loop on it. For I in L1. Now what it will do, the I will go for one by one in each element and then print it for us. Let me call a print statement here and a print I. So if we now run it, we are getting our string as an output. So if we check the output here, so we can check the output of type of our output, like the what is our output type. So now if we run it, we are getting string as our output type. Now, so we are going to now study about for else. Like what is for? So let me take our list here. So I am printing the list, and now I want to apply for loop on it for I in L1 colon print I. Now what it will do? It will print I for us, like all the list elements, and then we are going to use else block. So what does this else block will do? It will print, or it will perform any function other than else. Like if we want to like after successful execution of our for loop, else will run. So let me print here something uh, like for loop executed successfully. Now if we run it, we are getting our output. Like first it will print the our our list elements, and after that it completes its execution, then the else piece of code will run. At any point of time, if our for loop fails or it does not complete successfully, then the else block will also not run. So here we are now we are going to study about what is break and continue. because we are going to use this for understanding of else. So let me take for loop here for I in L1, and here we are going to again apply a condition. What a condition? If I is equal to, I am passing a condition like Zia, or it will come and, so let me take Usman here, and after that you can see that there is an indentation space between all the blocks. So please, when you are practicing the code, or if you get any error, please check your indentation first, because there are a lot of issues going to come to you if you are a beginner. So please uh, keep indentations clear in your mind. So we are going to use here break statement now, and after the break, what we are going to, we are going to print, what we are going to print I. Now if we run it, we are getting only first two elements of the string, and after small it breaks. So what basically it's happening here, like I will go to L1 and it will take first element, and then check if condition will check I, if I is equal to small. So our at first index I is not equal to small, it will run for it and it will print first element of element. Then it will move further to the next element, then it will Ali. Now for Ali it will check that either it is equal to small, no, it will not break, it will print I. After that, when i's value is equal to Usman and both values are matching, then it will break. So break will break our function here. It will not move further and it will not print anything. We can apply same thing, or here we can study better about else here. So now if we run else here, so we are going to take here else for us. So now if we write else here, and we, what we want to print something, and what we want to print, we want to print like if for loop, we want to print like for loop not executed, for loop not executed successfully. Now if we run it, we are seeing that we are getting the first element, and after the break it is not printing else block for us. Like the our program breaks here and it will not move further to any piece of code, it will just return from here and it will not print anything for us after the break statement. Now let us study about continue keyword. So let me again take our list here. So we are using this same list. Now we are going to run for I in L1 if I, if a condition to check if I is equal to Usman, then what it will do, then it will continue. So now we will see how what continue will do, and then we want to print I here. So basically what happening here is that I will go into list and it will iterate one by one element for it. After that it will check first. So if I is equal to small, so our first index is any. So if we check it with small, it is not equal to, then it will not go into this piece of code, it will directly go to print, and print is under the block of for loop. So print is parallel of if, then it is not inside the if. All the elements which are under the indentation of if are in the if block, and those elements those statements which we pass as parallel to any condition, then it is the part of other element. So here print is the part of for loop, not if. If continue is the part of the if. Now first it will check first index element, it is not matching, then it will not move inside the if and it will print first element. Then again it will go to next element for, and it will check that is it matching, it is not matching, then it will not move inside and it will come outside of the if statement and will print for us. Third, then when it will check that I is equal to small, so here it is matching, then it will go inside continue block. So what will continue? Continue will ask our code to return again to the for loop. It will not uh, allow our code to execute after continue statement. Like it will not execute this statement for us. It will directly move the control again to the for loop. So it will not print the this condition. If we did not use the element, then what was here? It was Usman, which was matching. So it should have to print Usman, but we are using continuous statement. So now the operation is again move control from here to the for loop. So it will skip this element, and then again it will check next element, and it will check again that if it is matching. So it is not matching, then again it will move to print statement. So if now we run it, so what we are seeing that we are getting those elements which are not in equal to I statement. Like if the if statement is not true for those elements, those are getting printed. Same we can do for else here. Like if we want to use else statement here, so let me take this code here, and we want to paste here. And if we run it for the else piece of code, now what we want to print? We want to print here that for loop executed successfully. Now if we run it, we can see that we are getting our else statement printed. Why we are getting our else statement printed? Either we can see that it is not printing this element for us, but it is printing else statement. Why? Because we are not breaking our function. We are just returning the control to the for loop again. We are not breaking here. We just break our program, and it did not move further. Like it did not move to the next element, and it just break here. But here we are using continue. So continue will again return the control to the for loop, and for loop will again run for the next element. So here it completes its all the process for elements in L1. So that's why it executed successfully this time for us. So let's here study about range function. So we are going to use this function a lot with for loop. So that's why it is very important to get clear about range function. So range is our generator function. Like we already have a video on generator function. You can go and check it out for better understanding. So if we now the data is getting generated here, but we could not see the data for range 0 to 5. So it will exclude 5 for us. It will just run from 0 to 4, because there it will, if we count elements, like if I convert it into a list, then I run the range here, and for 5. So if we count the elements from the index here, so 1 2 3 4 and 5. So our range function continues indexing from 0. So after continuing from 0, it will count till 5. So here if we count 1 2 3 4 5, so here our 5 range gets completed. Let's see it more uh, in depth. Like if we call the list, and inside the list we call range. So range, first we will give the starting, like from where it will start. Then we will give the end, that where it will end. And after that we will pass the jump. So jump will tell us that how many elements it has to skip. So one jump, like it will jump from 0, then it will jump 1 2, then it will jump 1, then it will jump 3, then it will jump 4. So now if we run it, we will get the same output as we gain above. Now if we want to if we take another example here, and here we are going to change the size of our jump. So let me take a range from 0 to 10, and here our jump size is 2. Now if we run it, then we can see that 0 2 4 6 8. Now we are getting generated even number, because we are using the jump of 2. So this will skip one element, and then it will next to move element. It will skip one, and then it will move to next. It is basically adding 2 for each element, and then it is returning element for us. So here let's see another example. Like if someone asks us to, here we take our same list. So if someone asks us to print our this list in reverse order, so first we print this using range function for I in range, and from where the range will start, it will start from the length of. So first we have to check the length of our range. So length of L1. So first we have to check the length of our list. So what is length? Our length of list is 4. Now if we run for it, length of L1, then what it will do? It will print L1 I. Now what basically it's happening here, like for I in range, like first it will check the length of the list, then it will iterate one by one element for it. For first I will go here, then I will go to other, then it will go to other. So here L1 is our list and I is the number for which it will run. So I first it will run for first element, then it will print L1, then it will again next go to next element, then value of I will be this, then it will print this. After that value of I will be this, it will print this, and after that value of I will be this. Now if we run it, we can see that we are getting the same output here, like we already had printed this output here for us, like here we already printed here. Now if we want to print it in a reverse order, so what is our length of the list? So length of our list is 4. Now we want to run it in a reverse order. For I in range, length of L1, comma 0, comma 1. So here what is happening? First it will take the length of our list. So what is our length? 4. So we want to print our range from 4 to 0. So let me just print here. So let me take list here and range function, and inside the range function we are going to pass the length of our list, because we are going from upper bound to the lower bound. So from 4, because the length of our list is 4, so from 4 we are going to 0, and if we run it, what will we will get output? We are getting empty list. So why we are getting empty list? Because we are starting from 4 and going till the 0. But in as we know that by default it will go in positive order, like it will add 1. But from 4 we are going to 0, then we did not give any jump here. So let me give our jump here. So if I give 1, then still it is giving me empty list. And if I give -1, now if we run it, then we can see that it is decreasing now. First it will give the length of, then it will -1 from here, then it will again -1, then it will again -1. But we know that in string we have index from 0, 1, 2, 3. Now here we are getting 4, 3, 2, 1, but we are not getting 0, and we index ends with 3, 2, 1 and 0, because here if we count it 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now if we, what we will do, we will -1 from the length. So now we had also decreased the length of list by subtracting 1, and still we are getting 3 to 1, but still we are missing 0, because it will go from like 3 to 1 and 0. So if we again remove one element, like if we go from -4, -3 Like the length is 4. If we subtract 1 from it, it will go to 3. Then we subtract 1, and after here we are getting 1. So again, from if there is 0, so from 0 if we want to minus 1, here is 1. So from 1 if you minus 1, then it will become 0 here. So let me run it again. So we can see that here we are getting 3210. Now if we use this same function here, like we are going to copy this range from here and pass it here. Now if we run it, now we if print it. Now let me take the length of L1, like L1 here, and what we want to print, we want to print I. So now if we see that we are getting our resultant output in reverse order, like it will take the last element, then next, and then next. So here we can see that how we can reverse our string using range function. So that's it for today. Please practice and try different combinations here, and please try to practice more and more to get familiar with for loop. And that's it for today. Bye bye, and see you next class.